Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Triforce podcast.
Welcome back, the one and only place on the internet where everybody here loves chips no matter what. We'll eat them with anything.
You guys have no idea. I've had so many emails saying that I'm right and you guys are insane. Like,
yeah.
I'm like 90% saying that I'm
Flax
right.
is living in his little echo chamber. It's probably all emails from like his friends and family supporting him.
Yeah, certainly none from McCain's, the chip manufacturers.
No, they're out to get. They got a hit on you.
Fuck you, buddy.
We got to take this guy down.
The anti-chip agenda.
Take the shot.
Jesus. Yeah, shoot potatoes at me. Get the potato gun.
It's a spud gun.
Get the potato gun ready.
Love the spud guns.
Let's get the potato launcher loaded.
Stick him in his exhaust pipe. His car's going to blow up when he starts it.
That's the McCain way.
No, it'll be an accident.
We should call them. Excuse me, I believe I'm being targeted by assassins in your employ. Can you answer? No comment.
Body found stinking of chip fat in the gutter.
They stuffed mashed potato in your mouth as a warning.
Oh,
that's some prison shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of torture, I had a terrible hay fever at the weekend. Right. I went for a walk and my eye was like a little bit itchy, right? And I was like resisting the urge to like rub it.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a while, I was like, oh, it's like streaming, right? It's like streaming with tears. So I start rubbing it. And of course, that just makes it worse, way, way worse.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of the walk, I was like, I was like, just in agony, right? Anyway, woke up the next morning, which was Monday morning, and my eye was like gooped shut, with like that, like that yellowy eye sleep goo. It's so gross. I looked in the mirror. It was like looking at like some horrific monster.
Did you have trouble opening your eyelids? Like they were sealed shut? Oh, I hate that.
It was so super gross, man.
Yeah.
And I think it was just hay fever combined with like, maybe I got some sun cream in my eye or something, but like, man, it was so bad. I just felt like an absolute grandpa.
I went into Richmond at the weekend. This is crazy, actually. I have never suffered from hay fever in my life.
Right.
And we went out, it was a beautiful sunny day. We went to Richmond Green, and it was like, obviously all the trees are out and they're doing their thing. There's little flowers everywhere. I was sneezing like crazy. My eyes were itching. I felt like I had a little cough in the back of my throat. I thought, oh, don't tell me I'm getting sick again. So I think I'm developing some kind of hay fever. It's something I've never, ever had.
Well,
is that normal?
I was told it was the opposite. I was told as you get older, your immune system gets less angry, right? And a doctor told me this, by the way. So it's not just I didn't read it on Reddit.
What doctor? Was it Dr. Dre or?
It was an allergy doctor. I went to an allergy doctor appointment. An actual
allergy doctor?
Because I had to get new EpiPens for my nut allergy, right?
Right.
And,
you're allergic to nutting.
Obviously, when I went there, the doctor was like, how long are you allergic to stuff? I was like, yeah. And he's like, how long has it been since you had any allergy tests? And I was like, well, I had one when I was 8.
Right.
Which I mean, when I in 1991. And he was like, okay, so maybe you should go for an allergy appointment. And I forgot about it. And then 9 months later, it came around and they wanted me to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital and saw a guy. But he told me that, I'm maybe not as allergic anymore as I was. Because I obviously avoid these things. So I haven't had like a severe anaphylactic reaction in a long time. Yeah. And also, I think some people just try and get EpiPens to like abuse them. I don't know who's like injecting themselves with an EpiPen for fun, or for drugs.
You know which one I've noticed recently. I get hay fever from time to time, but I haven't like really struggled with it overly. Like the rest of my family seem to struggle with it a lot more than me. But the one I've noticed recently, which is not something maybe I just never paid attention to it in the past, but I feel like you hear a lot more about people getting sepsis nowadays for some reason, more so than ever. I don't ever remember hearing about, overly about people getting it. And like,
so sepsis as in an infection in your from a wound in your gut that causes
no. This is any
like
infection.
A blood infection.
Yeah, it's basically any infection that your body decides to just go ham on, but also starts eating its own tissue and stuff. It can cause you to have limbs amputated and stuff. Like it just like all your skin goes black
So it's
in
an
the affected
infection
areas.
in your body.
Yeah,
Is that
but
right?
it's your body just doesn't know how to deal with it and just goes into overdrive and basically tries to kill you in the process of.
So it's a
healing the
life-threatening reaction to an infection. It happens when your immune system overreacts to an infection and starts to damage your body's own tissues and organs. You cannot catch sepsis from another person. Do you suppose they've been saying for years, like I'd say as long as I can remember reading about it, that the whole antibiotics thing, we've overused them because we use them in don't they use them in farming? They put them in cows or something.
I don't know.
But any kind of cold, people were boshing out antibiotics.
Yeah.
But there is a hard limit on their effect.
I think there is definitely a hesitancy to use antibiotics. And I don't know whether that's causing more sepsis or whether it's just that thing where, because you've heard of it recently, so you see it everywhere.
Yeah, I think there's
right?
like even more recently, there's been tons of extra awareness around it, because I don't know if you guys saw, there's a conservative MP who's just come back to work after getting sepsis, but he's had both his feet and his hands amputated as a result of having it. Yeah, so he's calling himself the bionic MP now because he's has.
Wow. How do you vote against that, lad?
But it's crazy because the way it presented itself,
he's going to clean up the streets with antibiotics.
He just felt really sick one night. Like he felt, he just felt dreadful one night and said, "Well, right, I'm just going to go to bed. Like, yeah, I feel like shit. I'll get some sleep and I'll feel better in the morning." And when he woke up in the morning, he was just like no better. He was worse, and he was in fucking tons and tons of pain, and he couldn't explain it. And his wife said, "What the hell? Like, you're actually turning blue. Like, I've never seen anything like this before." And she thought he was like poisoned or something. So she phoned the hospital and they got him in, and they had to put him in an induced coma for 16 days. And when he woke up, all his arms and legs were like black, like they just died. And he said it was like, if you could like knock on them like they were like the plastic of a mobile phone or something. He said it was like all hollowed out. It was like it was
gruesome, dude.
And they had to amputate his arms and his legs.
I feel like we need a trigger warning.
Yeah. But people have gone to hospital and died because of it, because doctors sort of, they'll get you in and they'll say, no, it's this, it's not that, it's this or whatever, and they'll sort of they'll take you down a road that they're familiar with or whatever. But in some cases, they're actually missing signs of sepsis because it is quite hard to detect. And then as a result, people are dying of it. So there's like all this like extra awareness being raised around it and stuff. But I just, it's so weird. It's like, it feels like all of a sudden it's like, wow, God, everybody's getting sepsis. And like, I'm 43 years old. And I've never heard of this before until this year.
It's absolutely killed people for centuries.
Yeah, of course it has. But it's like
every time anyone got like an injury, the point is that if you get an injury and it gets infected, that's why you need to get that thing treated. Yeah, because otherwise it can lead to septicemia, which is the classic. Yeah, sepsis, right?
That's the classic. You're on your way out,
and that's what killed everyone in the old medieval times. It was always be happening. Someone would have a
no, you're thinking of witches.
Tiny scraps. I'm thinking of war. Yeah, I'm thinking of
everything.
Yeah. Oh my God, everything killed everyone in medieval times. Like it was grim. But I wonder if it is on the rise due to a hesitancy to give antibiotics.
Well, I know a decent number of medical professionals listen to this podcast. Email into the mailbag.
But I also reckon there's also a lot of people who don't want to take them because they're like, oh God, I don't want to take these antibiotics. I'm not poisoning my
body with antibiotics. I just need crystals and a prayer.
No.
Well, there's relating to that. There was a news article about a young child in Ontario who died of measles, which doesn't happen that often nowadays, I don't think, because of immunizations and stuff. But
I think by nowadays you mean until nowadays.
Oh,
we had a period
nowadays,
where people were dying of measles. Then we came up with a vaccine for measles, and now we're back on people saying vaccines are evil and they put RNA in your body, even though that's in there.
Yeah, so he wasn't immunized against it, and I mean it's speculation. They're not sure, but people are saying, well, they must have left the country. And it must have been contracted somewhere because it's probably unlikely that you'll pick it up,
Well, obviously,
in
some
Ontario doing day-to-day stuff.
look,
but
No,
I mean, you
there
never
are people
know.
out
But
there not getting like
Yeah.
this is a legitimate thing. Is that measles is essentially still around
yeah,
because people are refusing to get vaccinated for it. It's incredible. Well,
It's
you may
sad.
as well say, I don't want to have smoke alarms in my house because they're evil. I mean, it's just like an advance that has definitively saved lives.
yeah.
And they're just like, nah. But the problem is, like a smoke alarm, if you get measles because you're not vaccinated, you can affect other people. And just like if you don't have
it's
any smoke
contagious,
alarms
yeah.
and your house catches fire, maybe mine catches fire because of yours. It's the same deal. You do have some kind of social
It
fucking
is literally the same
responsibility.
deal. It's like, your house, you can't have a smoke alarm due to reasons. And
My reasons.
My reasons are
My liberties.
sacred, even if they're stupid.
there are some people who genuinely can't have vaccinations.
Yes,
They've
of
got, like,
course.
Yeah,
compromised
of course there is,
systems, and it protects those people. It's mad that I think this is a symptom though of people desiring to be healthier, right? There is a push to eat healthy and be healthy, and like I think there's this definite trend of middle-aged people, trying to look after themselves.
Well, we've
more. And
never been-
I think that's tied in.
We've never wanted to be more healthy, but also type 2 diabetes diagnosis are on the rise, 39% up in the past 2 years for type 2 diabetes, which is not the one that you're born with. That's the one that you give yourself from eating too much ice cream.
Being wicked.
Yeah. By being sinful.
Indulgent. Sinful. It's a punishment from God.
So
and they
okay, I
deserve
get it. There's a
Oh.
lot. Everybody's health conscious, but like at the same time, come on. I mean, you can't. This is the same society that's basically killing itself with sugar. And wanting to be, really, really health conscious and wearing like Fitbits and stuff. There's a joke in there. Well, there's probably a couple of jokes in there somewhere. It's fucking wild, isn't it?
It's actually wild.
Hey, you know what I saw the other day? I want to ask you guys this. I was talking about this on stream the other night as well. You guys have seen the film The Goonies, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Long
So,
time ago, though, man. It's been
It's
a
an
while
old
since
movie.
I've
It's
seen
like
the Goonies.
like an 80s classic. For anyone that hasn't seen it, it's a movie about some kids called The Goonies who basically the gist of it is that some property developers are going to sell off their houses and shit, and they need money to stay, and the kids band together, go into a pirate cave, and try and get the doubloons that One-Eyed Pete or whatever the pirate is called.
One-Eyed Willy.
One-Eyed Willy, which is
One-Eyed
even
Pete.
worse.
One-Eyed Willy.
Get down there, and there's a gang of sort of mobsters or bank robbers or whatever that is also in the area trying to stop them. And they meet a guy down there called Sloth. And Sloth is, I think he was dropped on his head quite a bit as a baby, is the explanation they give for what happened to Sloth. But he's a very deformed fellow.
Is he the "Hey you guys" guy?
Hey you guys, that
Yeah.
one with his ears sort of little
Yeah.
flap gently.
Yeah.
At the end of the film, if you've forgotten, Chunk, who is the chubby kid who does the truffle shuffle, Chunk says to Sloth, "You're going to come live with me now. We're going to take you home with us. You're going to live with us because I love you." Now, I don't know if he's discussed this with his parents, but I'm seriously concerned that Chunk's parents are like, "What did you say?" And suddenly they have a 6'4" mutant living with them.
Yeah.
What's the crack here? I mean, this guy's got serious PTSD. He was tied to a chair and tormented by his family for years, and now he's just going to live with a 12-year-old boy? What's happening? There's no fucking way I'm letting that happen. No way.
Where's
I'm
the
seriously
Goonies
questioning
prequel
that.
where we find out how Sloth came to be?
He had really bad hay fever and his eye like swelled shut.
Yeah. He developed
Oh my
a slight case of sepsis as well, and
yeah. And his parents didn't vaccinate him.
No.
It was such a weird
a catalog of
ending
errors
to the
was
film.
made. Yeah.
I don't think you'd get that ending nowadays. Especially in a post-U-Tree world, I would be very concerned about a grown man living with a young boy. I'm just putting that out there. In the 80s, it was no big deal. I would not let this grown man live with my child. No thanks. No thanks.
I don't know. It seemed like to be the done thing in the 80s to take in like waifs and strays, though, right? Like,
Who like?
Well, E.T., for example, he was taken
You letting
in.
him near your kids? That's a grown alien.
Yeah. Harry the Sasquatch, the Hendersons took him
Harry
in.
the Henderson, yeah.
If you remember, they took him in as well.
A grown but Bigfoot. You letting him near your kids?
Alf,
Times have changed.
the family
Alf.
that harbored an intergalactic fugitive, Alf.
And I think Alf drank and smoked and
He
made
did.
sexual comments.
He was a huge.
Oh my God.
He was very problematic.
Alf, can you babysit the kids for us? Yeah, sure thing, I
Yeah,
can.
God.
Fucking, I ain't trusting Alf. I ain't trusting any of these guys.
Yeah.
And these shows were made by the people who were in the thick of it back in the 70s and 80s. I'm just saying, folks.
Yeah.
Open
Oh my
your
God.
eyes.
Yeah, every time you load up one of these, it's like, produced by Harvey Weinstein.
Right, exactly.
It's like a
Special
little jump
advice
scare
from Jeffrey
at the start
Epstein
of the-
as executive producer. Prince Andrew,
technical advisor.
Prince Andrew, technical advisor.
Executive producer Bill Cosby.
Fucking hell. Oh my God.
This is a whole team.
With special
Music
thanks
by
to
Rolf
Jimmy
Harris.
Savile. So it's like a whole production. Get on IMDb
wow.
and look them up.
God, that would be a fucking TV show, that would, if they were all the crew. It was like this sort of ragtag bunch of predators.
I don't think ragtag makes them sound a
of
little
ragtag,
charming.
bunch of rogues.
Yeah, no.
You know how people love these
We're
anti-heroes,
not talking about
though?
Kelly's heroes here, or like the dudes from the actual the commandos from Predator.
Escape from an actual prison. These commando unit.
This ragtag band of ne'er-do-wells.
It's like Suicide Squad, but like,
But with
fucking
nonsense. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God, everyone loves a villain. Oh,
Yeah.
oh God,
There's degrees of villainy though. There's some
that's true.
villainy
That's funny.
that crosses the line, you know?
Yeah.
We're not.
That
Big
wasn't
time.
a plot point for Darth Vader that he was also a pedo, is it? That's
No.
Oh God, just to show he's evil. I mean,
Yeah.
there's limits, isn't there? You're allowed to kick a dog and maybe slap a woman.
I mean, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm also wondering. Indiana Jones had Short Round following him around in Temple of Doom. Who's this
Yeah.
little kid that just lives with Indy? What's up
Are
with
you
that?
talking about? Okay, you talking about K. Hwai Kwan or whatever his name is, the
Yeah.
guy who, because he was in the Goonies.
Yeah.
He was in
Shorts.
Indiana
Was
Jones.
his short
And
stack?
also, yeah, he Short Round. He
Short
came
Round.
back. He did these two movies, right, and then disappeared from
Yeah,
acting for
exactly.
20 years,
Yeah.
and then came back with Everything
Everything
Everywhere, All at
Everywhere,
Once,
yeah,
which
yeah.
was really, really good, and he won like a award.
Yeah, well, he's in Goonies, he's in the Temple of Doom, and then he
that's
goes.
the way to do it.
Oh yeah,
Be
he
like,
was in
be
all
like
those, wasn't he?
only in the most iconic movies.
I think the way to do it is to be in all those iconic movies and still be making movies.
Yeah,
That's
well,
the way to
has,
do
He
it.
has done. He took a bit of a break, but
A
20
bit of a
years.
break. I think it was like a 30-year break or
well,
something, wasn't it?
he still came back though.
I think wasn't he doing stunt work or something like that? He was
was
a
he?
brilliant actor. Yeah. He's a really good actor. Very, very likable. So
Yeah.
he let me have a look here.
What, in
What was he
Indiana
doing?
Jones?
No. In Everything Everywhere. So his career looks like this. He did Indy, he did The Goonies. He was in a film called Breathing Fire, which is a totally forgettable looking action movie. He was in Encino Man.
Oh, that was a
Um,
classic. Yeah, Pauly Shore.
Pauly Shore and Brendan Fraser. Good
Yeah, that's
heavens.
right.
I think that's the beginning of the end right there. If you're in Encino
Buddy.
Man.
Yeah, you
Then
remember?
Red Pirate, which doesn't even have a Wikipedia entry. Second Time Around, which looks like it's a Hong Kong film involving parallel universes. Interesting.
Very good.
Interesting, because that's kind of similar to Everything Everywhere. Finding Ohana, which is an American family adventure film, which I don't remember at all. And then Everything Everywhere.
I'm still waiting. For Rick Moranis to come back.
I don't think he will by choice. If I remember rightly, he's like done with it, and he does music and stuff now.
No,
Rick
he
Moranis?
said he would do a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids sequel
Oh, he needs money then. Fair enough.
called Shrunk. No, well, I don't know. But, I mean, he quit the movie industry to raise his family.
Yeah,
and-
which I totally respect.
Honey,
that.
I shrunk my bank account by not working for years. Now I need to get back into the game.
Oh my god, he hasn't made a film for nearly 20 years, and it was direct to video, and it was voice only, called Brother Bear.
He's good too. I like Rick Moranis.
Honey,
And
we
I loved
shrunk
him
ourselves.
in
Yeah.
Ghostbusters. He was so
He
good.
is 71 now, actually.
Oh.
So, that's
So
pretty-
yeah, I mean, he
Pretty
was
old.
him and John Candy. I think was it John Candy?
Honey,
He
I
was in-
shrunk my whole body through old age.
Honey, I shrunk
Withering
my
away.
penis. I just decided to shrink my penis, honey. Thought it would be
my
funny.
God. John Candy, I mean, he was he was one of these
They were all
long line
Second
of-
City guys. Rick Moranis
Yeah,
was,
Second City,
Martin
so-
Short, Steve
Yeah.
Martin, what's
Second
that?
City Television.
Eugene Levy,
John
all those
Candy,
guys.
Rick Moranis, Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara,
Yeah.
Harold Ramis,
Man,
Martin
she's
Short.
so good, actually. Catherine, she's a
brilliant,
great,
yeah.
great actress.
She
like,
is
really
great
good.
in is it
Schitt's Creek. She's amazing.
Well,
in
She's
that.
man,
stunning
she's
in
fucking
that.
so good in Home Alone. Like with the parts where she like screams Kevin and stuff. Like it. No, honestly,
no,
go back
she's
and
really good. Yeah,
Go
no,
back
I
and
watched it.
watch
She's
them.
really
She's
good.
fucking hilarious, man. She's so good.
She's one of those people who she was in tons of stuff and you didn't appreciate her
She was in
until
Coneheads
you
with
saw
Dan
her in other
Aykroyd
stuff.
as well. She
Well,
was the-
now that's not a good movie though, is it?
Come
No.
on. You're gonna sit
It's
here
not a
and
good
say
movie.
to me with a straight face that Coneheads is not
I
a great
am.
movie.
Yeah, I am smiling, but come on, it's not a good
No, you're right. It's not. It's pretty bad.
movie.
But
Unless
she
you're a
was in
massive
that. She
Conehead.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big Conehead. You know. Like,
Was it Third Rock from the Sun? Do you remember that? I think
Yeah.
one of the mother in that, wasn't she in Coneheads as well? I can't remember her name.
I can't remember the mother from Third Rock now. I just
Rock from
remember.
the
I only
Sun.
remember John Lithgow and that really odd guy with the darker hair.
French Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was weird. He
He
had his
was-
eyes closed the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah. He was
Yeah,
funny
weird.
though. He was funny. He had that kind of like a southern twang of an accent too.
It
didn't
was
he?
weird,
It was
yeah.
really weird.
But I mean, John Lithgow's fantastic. Kristen Johnston was in it. She was really tall.
Oh.
But Jane Curtin is her name. Jane Curtin. If you look up Jane Curtin, she
Oh,
was in
Jane Curtin,
so
she's been in
many,
something recently,
so
I
many
think.
things. Yeah. You see her pop up and stuff. But I think she was in SNL.
Oh yeah, she was in so many things. back
Yeah.
in the
So
day.
she was in Coneheads. Jane
Oh,
Curtin
yeah.
was in Coneheads. And,
Yes.
Oh my god.
so it was
Like,
her and Dan Aykroyd. She
this
was
is
the
such
mother.
a
Oh, I
classic
thought it was. I
TV.
didn't realize it was her. I thought it was the other one. Sorry, I
No,
got it wrong.
no.
Thought I got it wrong. Big time wrong.
Yeah, because she was in SNL.
What else was Catherine O'Hara in? She's
Oh,
yeah,
she's
she's
in
Canadian
tons
as well.
of things.
Home Alone, Beetlejuice. She's in Beetlejuice.
Right,
That's
she was
right. I
she
think
was the
that-
mother in
yeah.
that. She was fantastic.
She was really good in that.
They're making a sequel to Beetlejuice.
I saw that. Yeah, I don't know why they're doing this.
Me neither.
Like, just stop it. Stop
Make something
making-
else.
Yeah, make something
Make
different.
another thing.
Yeah,
Make
just
another
do a different thing.
There
I think
is
they
a-
just need to latch on to something that has pre-existing. Someone's heard of it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Do you know what
that-
else
that
I think-
People are so scared to make stuff. that
Let's
is
be
new
less
and
cynical
original.
for a moment, Lulu. Let's
Go on.
just think about this, okay? Imagine if we stopped making Triforce, all right? And 20 years from now, we decided to make another Triforce episode as a kind of nostalgia thing. And we'd be like, we got together and we were like, you know what I miss? I miss doing Triforce. We should do like a one-off 20-year later special or something like that.
Sure.
People would enjoy that. I'm sure that does enter into... Because these guys are all so rich. It's not like they're like,
see.
we've got to make another Beetlejuice. I
And
mean,
everyone they meet every day talks about it.
Yes.
And that's what they're known for.
Right.
And everyone's like, anyone, all the time, their whole family are like, what do you do? And Simon's like, I'm the Diggy Hole man.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like he's never going to not be the Diggy Hole man.
Yeah, he's
Right.
always
And so-
he's going to be the Diggy Hole man till the day he dies.
yeah.
Exactly. And so you can't help but think, oh, what shall we do with the Diggy Hole movie to Diggy Hole 2, Diggy Hole 3?
Diggy Hole, the prequel. The hole has not even been started yet.
Dig my hole, the porn parody. Dig my
Oh
hole.
no.
Dig me
Oh.
out.
Are you digging my hole?
How has that not been done? Well, maybe it has.
It
Like, there's
probably
so
has.
much out
Yeah,
there.
there's like
Oh,
there's tons of
I'm gonna chance a
video
Google
game
here.
culture
don't.
porn out there.
Diggy diggy
Save
hole
yourself.
porn. Diggy.
So tell me
Diggy
about the
Hole.
Beetlejuice. Has it got what's his face?
It's called
in it?
Beetlejuice.
Michael
Beetlejuice.
Keaton.
Michael Keaton is back, and
Oh, really?
Catherine
Okay,
O'Hara
in
is
that
going to
case.
be in it too. And that's all I know.
Okay.
First result: Diggy diggy hole, sexy dwarfs with big holes.
Nice.
Oh God!
I'm
no,
opening it.
please
I'm over
He's
18.
watching porn live on the Triforce.
don't do that. Come now.
No,
Well-
later. Save it for later.
Free diggy diggy hole porn videos. No, it's
Oh.
just all a bunch of anal vids. That's all it is.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
O-
Fair enough.
Okay.
Good. I'm glad you found a
I just want to answer
fresh
the
new
questions.
stockpile of anal
Yeah,
porn.
You can't bring that stuff up and then just not Google it. I mean, come on.
True.
Beetlejuice is the new one.
Beetlejuice.
Tim Burton.
Oh, Tim
Yeah,
Burton.
he
Wow.
was the director of the original.
Yeah,
wasn't
he did.
So-
Yeah, the original was wild.
Oh, it's such
I
a good movie.
remember loving it when I was a kid, though. It was really
My favorite part was when they were in the waiting room in hell, and it was like the bureaucracy and the sort of you saw behind the scenes of what it was like. You know, you had to wait for your number and everything, and you go to meet that woman who, when she smokes, the smoke comes out of a wound in her neck and stuff like that. Like little subtle things. As a kid, I thought were amazing, and I wanted to know more about that sort of universe. Nowadays, if Beetlejuice came out, that would be a TV series on Netflix in a heartbeat, like the Death's Waiting Room or whatever they'd come up with a name for it, and you just have office politics in hell. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
I took my kids to see that movie, If Imaginary Friends, the one with Ryan Reynolds and what's his face from The Office. Jim
got like
Halpert.
a big purple monster in it.
Yes, yeah, and it's voiced by Steve Carell.
Is it good?
It was all right, actually. Yeah, it was good. It was a nice family movie. Like, if you have young kids, it was pretty good. I went into it thinking I'm going to hate this and I'm going to fall asleep for 2 hours and whatever. But no, I was pleasantly surprised, actually.
Interesting.
It wasn't too bad at all. It's
nice. Funny. My kids are just at that age now where I don't take them to see stuff like that in the cinema.
Yeah,
they're coming to see slightly different films.
Yeah,
in the cinema.
sure.
They're just a little older.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the kind of thing that we might watch on when it comes through.
Yeah. It's worth a watch. It's a nice little family one. You know, it's a family movie about families and stuff, and it just just one of those ones where it's just like, yeah, it's pretty good. Reminds you.
Do you know Inside Number 9?
Yeah.
You know the show Inside Number 9? So the last season is on of that. My kids and I have been watching it.
Oh,
and
good.
It's funny because like I started watching
for ages.
Yeah,
it really is
it's
like 10 years. It's been
It's
going.
a hit and miss that show. Some are better than others for sure.
It has really kept Reece Shearsmith and Steve Pemberton like busy though.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of kept them away from doing anything else.
Man,
too
when
much.
it's good though, it's exceptional. Like,
it's brilliant.
fuck me, there's
It's
some
great.
really good episodes for sure.
But
for sure.
So watching it with them, like they've never seen a show like that before. Like it kind of reminds me. When I was younger, I'd watch like The Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, and then Tales of the Unexpected and stuff like that. These kind of anthology shows where it's a one-off episode, you don't know what's going to happen, and there's a twisty ending. So one of the episodes we were watching was called, I think it's called The Bill,
so
right?
Inside Number 9, the idea is that it all takes place within a sort of one set.
Generally one location,
one like number 9 this apartment, or it's number 9 and it's like a bus.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like it's cleverly done like that.
Yeah.
It's the gimmick, but it kind of keeps it self-contained. In
Yeah.
a very clever way. It feels almost like a little mini play.
Yeah,
It is like that.
because it's set in one room.
I love the episode.
It's funny as well.
I love the episode of about the woman who. You find out. I don't want to spoil it. I think it's called like Catherine,
Is this the Christmas one?
or something?
Where is it set?
Well, it follows this woman. This woman's like. It starts off with this woman is like. I guess she's like. It kind of like follows her life. She's single and she gets back from like I think a Halloween party, and there's a guy dressed up as a firefighter, and she's dressed up as like a nurse or something, and they have it off, and then. They get together and they have a kid and then they break up.
You sort of flash forward through time.
It
and
flash
stuff like
forwards through.
That's a good episode.
Through her
That's a
whole
good
life.
episode.
Yeah, it's really good though.
That's a really good episode.
Yeah, really good one.
God, I heard there was another TV show like that.
Wasn't there one with Jonathan Frakes? People always make that meme where he's asking questions like, "How did that happen? How did the doctor know?" Blah blah blah. I can't remember what it was called because I don't think it was really on over here. Jonathan Frakes. Let's look it up. It was a sort of mystery thing. After Star Trek, he did a TV show called Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction, which is a very long title, but it's like it ran for 5 seasons, I think. Sorry, 6 seasons, and it was generally it was like episodes like, so here's season 1, The Apparition, The Electric Chair, On the Road, Number 1 with a Bullet, and Dream House. So there's 5 stories in there. Needlepoint, Toy to the Rescue, Mystery Lock, The House on Baker Street, and The Train. So I guess he was the guy. The first series was James Brolin was introducing it, and then the subsequent seasons were Jonathan Frakes introducing it. And I think it was like 4 or 5 stories in a row, I guess, rather than just Inside Number 9, which is like one story.
See, this
for half
would
an
now
hour.
be like a YouTuber, right?
Yeah.
They would be doing like 5-10 minute little videos, you know, about like weird, creepy, like supernaturally type vibes, you know. It would like, what is this? So this is what happened. Was it a crocodile? You know, did he rip his own dick off? It's like, which one? You know, you have to like kind of try and defy the logic, right? Yes, that's what it is. It's sort of this sort of supernatural vibe, but with a actual explanation, possibly. It's like, well, you know, he could have just fallen in the hole, but everyone says it was the ghost. It's like, okay.
Those ghost shows, I think they still rerun them. The ones with Derek Acora and guys like that.
Was it Most Haunted?
Was
that
what it was called?
There's one called Most Haunted?
I don't know.
Where
there
people
was like
would go and
Ghost
stay at
Hunters or
Ghost
something.
Hunters. People would go stay at like, you know, supposedly haunted houses.
Well, this is it's such cheap reality TV,
Yeah,
right?
You don't even need any special effects.
I mean, I
It's
watch a lot of
super-
crappy reality TV, but I would draw the line at that. I couldn't really sit through that.
You've got to understand that, like, you know, all you need is a film crew and a camera, you know, and one or two a presenter and one or two people who are
The
going to
Apprentice
scream.
is every year. The Apprentice is scary enough for me. I don't need to watch.
Have you not watched that one set in a hotel where they have a suitcase of money? It's like
is that the one where they all stay in separate rooms and they
Love?
can't
What's
like
that
talk?
show with the suitcase of money called?
Oh, it's called Suitcase of Money.
Fortune's Hotel. Yeah, thank you. Fortune Hotel.
Fortune Hotel.
Yeah.
Did you just yell at your...
I didn't yell. I asked her. She's in the next room.
Fortune Hotel. Is that the one
okay.
where they're in rooms so they're not allowed to see each other? It's
No,
on ITV.
they
Ooh.
have a suitcase, and there's everyone has a suitcase, and in one suitcase there's a ticket that means you got to go home that night,
Right.
and in another suitcase there's £250,000, and you could the whole game involves swapping suitcases, okay?
Right, I
And
see.
You kind of don't want to give away that you've got the suitcase with all the money.
It's
and obviously,
hosted by
and
Stephen Mangan.
Yeah, Steve Mangan. He's brilliant. He's a really, really good comic actor. Very funny guy.
10 pairs of contestants have the chance to win the ultimate jackpot of 250 grand.
That's not the ultimate jackpot, though, is it?
Well,
I mean,
that's-
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is the ultimate jackpot. Surely that's literally $1 million.
Right.
I don't know why they have to call it the ultimate
one day
jackpot.
ago, it had its biggest audience yet at 2.5 million viewers.
Yeah. So Mrs. F watches it. I've watched an episode. The idea is there are, you know, the way they always have these sort of, it's like an hour-long fucking show for some reason, because they fluff it out so much. But they have like these trials that they have to do, these games or whatever.
Yeah.
If you win the games, you get to swap last.
Right.
So if you win a game, you are the last person to swap at the end of the day. So everyone's sitting there and they're all being very cagey. And the thing is, they're all talking about like alliances and who they can trust, and like we're teaming up with these guys. I said, what do you mean trust? You can't trust anybody.
Yeah.
The whole point of the game is to take this money. If you finish the day with the suitcase, you get to take 10 grand out of it.
That's
So
the
you get
case in the
something just for
traders,
having
but
it.
people always just blindly trust each other in that.
I just don't get it. There's no way to say.
And another
"Oh,
thing
I'm
that
forming
people
an
do
alliance."
on reality TV, and I always think like am I missing, like are they just not showing a lot of footage or something? But like, how do people decide that these people that they've just met are their best friends? Like they just
I
don't
know.
have friends. They
Yeah, it's bizarre.
they're
It's
forced
bizarre.
into a situation, and now is their chance to finally make some friends, or like the loyalty is sometimes like in some of this stuff staggering for somebody you've just met.
Seriously,
He's
if
like,
you
oh,
watch
I
the
can't
most
let my
recent
friend
series,
down. That's not your fucking friend. Like,
Yeah,
you've known
you
him
just
for
met.
5 seconds. Like,
and they're
let him
trying to screw
down.
you over for money. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, the most recent series of Traitors is exactly that. At the end, the ending is she's like, "Oh, just believe him because he's so lovely and he's been my friend," and he's just like wins the whole thing as a traitor.
Yeah.
Because and she was like, "I can't believe it." I was like, "Everyone else can believe it."
I love the
the
voice.
point
It's
of the
so
game.
accurate as well because it was oh, I can't believe this has happened to me. Like, it's like,
Yeah, it's like, oh, if he's lying, I don't know what to think anymore. Well, how about that you're on a fucking game show?
Yeah.
And that everybody's lying to everybody.
yeah,
Like,
there's
what
more
are
of
you
a chance
thinking?
that he's lying to you than anything else.
Exactly. It was just so funny.
Oh,
But
fuck.
so it's another one of those kind of things.
how do you guys feel about parlor games?
Define.
So obviously, like back in the Victorian era, but also
So I am not
nowadays.
that old, Lewis.
No, me neither.
A classic parlor game would be like hide and seek or like sardines, right? Or
I
something like that.
see.
Oh man, I used to love playing hide and seek in the dark. Like in when we were
Jesus.
kids, we would if we go to like somebody's house, you know, to hang out or whatever, we'd put like cushions in all the basement windows and make it really, really dark in the basement, and then play hide and seek in the dark. But man, it's terrifying because you're just like, you don't even need a great space to hide because it's so dark. So you could just kind of like stand there, but you have to like hold your breath and stuff because it's like, you know, it's quiet, and like if they hear you, they'll find you, sort of thing. Fuck,
They
it
made
was
that
so much
horror
fun.
movie like that, didn't they? Where
Yeah.
they broke into a blind guy's house, and his house was like set up to. I think it's called "Don't Breathe."
Oh, what? He was just
I'm gonna look it
waiting
up.
for intruders, and then they.
Yeah, it's sort of like a trap house.
Sure enough, they came in, and he.
right.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'd be really good at that, by the way, because I was fucking really good at hide and seek in the dark.
Well, you could still do it. So there's a Mafia variant now. I can't remember what it's called. God, I'm sorry about this, but I was looking at it yesterday, and the idea is that it's like Werewolf or Mafia, except during the night phase, everyone has to hide,
Right.
in the dark. Okay. And if someone, you know, finds you, the killer, they have a special thing where they like, you know, tap you twice on the shoulder, and that means you're dead. And then you have to lie there as a corpse, right?
Right.
Okay.
Now, if someone finds you during that hide and seek dark night phase who's an innocent person, they can shout, "Oh, I found a body," you know. Otherwise, you just don't turn up to the table the next morning and you're dead, right?
Yeah.
And so, but the idea is that if you die, you then come back as a ghost, and you're allowed. What you do is you have to give everyone 10 seconds until they hide, and then you turn your phone on with the screen on, and you have to shuffle. So you have to keep your feet together.
What?
Okay, like shuffle like a ghost. You could only like moan. The different ghosts do different things, and so one of them shuffles and moans and waves their phone around, and it's super freaky. And then if,
To
like,
what
one of the
end?
ghosts, to what end? Just to kind of freak everyone
Oh,
out.
I see.
And,
So that's
and,
not
like,
part of the game. They don't
yeah,
have an
and creep-
ability. They just
and so
creep
you're
around.
hiding, and you're worried that someone's going to kill you, and there's like
Oh my
ghosts
God.
shambling around with
Oh,
their
this is too
lights and
much.
stuff, like lighting up the area, and you don't want a ghost to come near you to like reveal you to the killer. It's
I don't know if I want to do any of this
crazy,
stuff as
dude.
an adult, though. Like,
I know.
I still have.
I'm like,
this is
oh.
what
I
it's
still have
designed for.
like I still have an imagination, obviously, but it's not a kid's imagination where that would be a fantastical experience for me. I feel like the whole time I'd be like, this sucks. This person isn't making the right noises. This fucking idiot isn't playing correctly, or what, you know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
then also, I don't think adults can be trusted in that situation because you probably have one game and it'd be like, oh, this is great or whatever. Next game, somebody's getting groped for sure. Like,
My first thought
Yeah,
was,
my
I'm not
first
playing
thought
that
was-
if I'm a woman.
countdown to somebody getting groped in the dark.
He grabbed my boob in the dark.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were a dead body. So, it's
She
like,
grabbed my
you-
honker again in the dark. This keeps happening.
Yeah,
These
you know?
ghosts are gropers. What's
Yeah.
happening? It's a
perfect.
special role.
Yeah.
The ghost is a groper.
I
That's
think
so-
the idea is fine. I think if you're into that or whatever, but I'm just like, maybe I'm cynical or whatever, but like I would have loved to play something like that when I was like a kid.
I think you have to have the right group who wants to do this, though.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get sort of forced into it at someone's house by like some busybody mum or whatever. It's like, come on, everyone, we're gonna play this thing now. It's like, come on, we're all gonna play this game, and it's like, oh god,
You know what? I feel like
can-
if you have to get people together in that way, where you're like talking them into it,
Yeah.
how much fun are we really
I've
having?
never known anybody be like that, like even like my mother-in-law is pretty chill, like you go over and she's like, you want tea? Yep. Just watch TV, like there's no like
watch other people.
there's
do
no
these
like
games.
game arranging or anything,
I mean, you're
it's
not
like a bit of
you're not wrong. It doesn't happen to me. I kind of semi wish it did. Like I actually played these interesting physical
yeah.
parlor games. Like some of them are some of them are. One of them is classic. Like Are You There, Moriarty? Right?
Yeah.
Have you heard
Is
of
it
this
like
one?
Marco
No.
Polo, but like it takes place like in the
On a
in the
waterfall.
drawing room or whatever. This is all rich people stuff, by the way. Rich people
It
do
Yeah,
is,
all
they're
it
this
called
shit.
parlor
is.
games, for fuck's
But
sake.
it's like
They
this
host
one is-
dinner parties and they do their part of their games. It's everybody's drunk by the time these things happen. Mostly, I'd say. And
they fall into the same category to me as drinking games, which is I don't need to have a game to encourage me to drink with my friends and have a laugh. I think it's just people that don't really have anything to say.
By the time I'm loosened up and ready to play the games, I'm falling asleep anyway. So
drinking games don't involve blindfolds and hitting people with newspapers or hunting for a thimble under a handkerchief or something. Do you know what I mean? Drinking games are very much like often word games or memory games, which are again like different. They're to do with
they're simplistic.
I'm putting them in within the same Venn diagram.
The best drinking game, Chug-a-Lug. Where all you do is just drink fast. Yeah, that's it. It's so simple, but so effective. And then people chant Chug-a-Lug while you're drinking, while you're just chugging one down really fast. That's the game.
Don't need it. Just have a laugh. You want to slam that beer? Go for it, bud.
Yeah.
Don't need a game.
Parlor games?
Yeah.
I'd say no big ups to parlor games this week from me.
No, I'm refusing to big up them.
No.
Well, even like so nothing.
Never.
You're happy to sit around though.
I just
rather just
when
around,
I go out with people I know, I find that the conversation and everyone just having a laugh is more than enough.
Yeah.
Although last time I was down in Bristol, we did end up getting really drunk and playing a game, which was, I guess you could call it a parlor game. It was just wrestling.
Oh.
We got drunk and everyone was wrestling on the floor. Yeah, it was.
What the fuck?
We're just drunk. It was just
Who was doing wrestling?
Everyone.
What do you mean everyone?
I mean
Who
everyone.
Did you wrestle?
Lydia, Tom, Duncan, I think. I can't remember.
Not the first name I was expecting.
What, were you doing like
wrestling.
full headlocks? Do you give anyone a Boston Crab?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Give anybody a gas pedal?
I don't know what that is either.
What is that?
Well, it's when you hold...
everyone was just wrestling. We were all drunk.
You grab somebody by both ankles and you insert your foot into their groin and then you pull their ankles. That's a gas pedal.
God, no, we weren't trying to kill each other.
Right.
But
gas pedal.
I definitely remember. I think Ravs and Tom wrestled at some point. There was a lot of mucking about. We were just all very drunk. I mean, that to me is that's not a parlor game. That's
not a parlor. What were you doing?
That's like an episode of Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, it was funny.
Lydia's like a giraffe with an injured leg. You know,
I know.
Can't. She's very fragile.
I know. I was concerned, but the wrestling must happen.
One fall from that height, and God, she's gonna shatter like a statue. Gotta be careful.
Funny.
Man, oh man.
Oh, when you're drunk, whatever.
Anything goes.
You wake up the next
doesn't
day.
hold up in court, though, Flax. It's not a.
Wake up the next day, we're all covered in bruises.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mess with Duncan either, or Ravs. Like those guys are like bears. They'll savage you.
Big lads.
Yeah, they're the ones I want on my team. Not trying to. I mean, I'm just trying to think who actually I might be able to like Booth. Maybe I guess.
I would say don't try and wrestle Oz. She can limbo like no one I've ever seen.
Well, I think Oz has just got hidden blades.
She was
on her,
unbelievable.
You wouldn't even know.
Yeah, she did. She did. There was some limbo at one point as well, and I remember.
I'm trying to think of who I'd be
on the ground.
Effectively be able to win against in a wrestling match, and so far the only people I can think of are small children.
Limbo, that is not a part.
I don't think I've beaten any adult in a wrestling match.
Well,
even if they're way shorter than me or anything. Like I just don't think I'm very good at wrestling.
They do this with YouTuber boxing matches. They pick like a really scrawny, puny guy and put another scrawny, puny guy against
honestly,
him.
Talking of boxing, first of all, for any boxing fans out there, the Usyk Fury fight was a really good fight. It was a really, really good fight to watch.
I heard he is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah, Usyk is now the
undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
Usyk! Everybody goes mad. So yeah, it was a really good fight. Tyson Fury had some weird things to say afterwards, and I think he wished people Happy New Year or something.
Oh, right.
And it was
really like a bit
weird.
of like coked out Ultimate Warrior trash talk segment.
I don't know. It was very, very odd.
Yeah,
it was.
Those are odd, but I think it's normally owing to like concussions and stuff. You know.
Yeah, he got clobbered. He really did get clobbered. Yeah,
I think you can get into a pretty fucked up mind space after you've been
for sure
concussed.
But it was a good fight.
Are you looking forward to the Tyson Jake or Logan Paul one?
Really looking forward to.
Which Paul is it? Jake or Logan?
I don't know. I think it's Jake Paul.
Right.
I think.
I was watching Tyson's training videos, and I was reading some comments from people relating to these videos, and there's some really good ones in there. My favorite one was, I wouldn't even fight Mike Tyson with a gun.
Right? Yeah.
And it's true. He is a terrifying individual.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, he's old. He's like, what is he, 58 now or something, Mike Tyson? Let's have a look. Mike Tyson is 57.
Yeah, he still moves really fast.
So like, the thing is, if you've been a boxer most of your life, which he has been, he's clearly not in the shape he was in his prime. Obviously,
no.
He's 57. Jake Paul's a younger man. The point is, Mike Tyson was the greatest boxer of his era.
Yes.
Like, insanely good. Knocked people out for fun. Unbelievable punch strength and speed. There is, honestly, he must have been told, please don't kill him. Because there are people saying, he's old, he'll lose. I don't know, man. You can find a lot of videos of older guys who can really box, not putting younger guys on their ass. Because it's not just about, if boxing was purely about who is the strongest, Tyson Fury would have won. Because he's fucking huge. He's 6'9", right? And when he hits people, they stay hit. There is a lot more to boxing than that. It is not just big man hit big man. There is real skill to it. There's strategy to it. You've got the reactions. You've got the literally knowing when to target your punches and how to soak up damages. There's a lot to it. It's a proper fucking sport. That's why it's hard to be really good at boxing. Mike Tyson, yes, he's older. There is no fucking way he loses that fight if it's an honest fight. This guy, if he hits him properly once, it is lights out. There is no way. There is no way because he's knocked out people much bigger and better than whichever Paul this is. I'd be astonished if Jake Paul wins a genuine fight.
There's two people in this life that I'm afraid of. My wife and Mike Tyson.
That's it. Those are the only two. Only two things scare me. The wrath of my wife and Tyson.
Fuck. I would not want to fight Mike Tyson. I mean, I don't want to fight any boxer, but Mike Tyson, to me, Mike Tyson is, like you said, he was the undisputed champion of his era, but I think he could kill a man with his bare fists quite easily.
I genuinely think he could, even at 57.
More so than most.
Do you know who I really wouldn't want to fight? I really wouldn't want to fight Mark Zuckerberg, right? Because he does UFC stuff, apparently. He does, this is when him and Elon Musk were rubbing cocks against each other and threatening to fight.
We've all seen Star Trek. Data is a fucking badass fighter. He just lifts people up by their neck.
He does those karate chops too.
Right, but that's not why. I'm the physical side of it and losing because he's technically good. That isn't what would worry me. That could be pretty much any trained fighter. I just get this impression that he would do a funny breathing thing while he's got you in a hold. Like he'd be like doing little nerd grunts or something. Like he'd have you in a grunt. He's like, submit before me. Like that. It would be awful. Like you're losing to Mark Zuckerberg.
He's probably
that would be the ultimate humiliation.
I don't ever want to. I don't want to fight him, and I don't want if this ever gets back to him. I don't want this grounds for No,
I don't want to fight anyone.
I think he seems to me like a biter. Like he'll be biting. He's in there. He'll be biting for sure.
I reckon he'd have a boner while he had you in some kind of a lock.
Oh my god!
He'd be rubbing it against you. Can you feel my power?
Oh god. Oh man. I don't know though. Like all the adrenaline and the testosterone and everything. Like. I don't know. Maybe I would welcome his boner, is what I'm saying, in the confusion.
Right.
Yes, I can feel it pressing into the small of my back.
Captain, this is a very weird sensation. Oh, fuck.
You calling him Captain now?
Yeah, I'm just kidding. My wires are crossed, Captain. I think I'm Data. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wouldn't want to fight. I don't want to fight anyone.
No, I just want to chill.
I don't mind if other people want to fight each other.
Yeah, I like watching fighting.
Just don't fight me.
I'm a big fan of boxing. I know with the UFC, it feels so, I don't know, there's something horrible about it. When they're punching them on the ground and stuff, I can't get into it.
It's not an atmosphere that I would enjoy much, a fight atmosphere. I think people are too that Eddie Murphy bit from Raw or Delirious where the Italian goes to watch Rocky.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it's like, hey, Rocco! I feel like it's like that, It's just a lot of people getting all all like really
Yeah.
fucking supercharged and amped up, and I don't.
Do you know what I think, especially now that I've had kids, and you see what kids are like when they see something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like some people never grow out of that phase.
Yeah.
They're the kids who they watch wrestling and they're like, let's do this in the backyard. And they're braining each other.
Jumping off their roof onto a mattress and stuff.
It's like, calm down, kids. It's just, you can watch the thing and be excited by it, but you don't then have to go out and do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, my God.
All right, chaps, I got to go. I'm sorry, I have to go to an appointment.
He's got
good. Thank you, Sips.
Well, look, 53 minutes. Pretty good.
Yeah, we got 53.
Yeah, we got 53.
Covered a lot of ground.
We got
a lot
53
of
and no big ups. We
not
almost
one
gave
big
a
up.
big up to Parlor Games and then decided no.
Well, you stepped in real quick to make sure that didn't happen. And I'm glad of it. Well done.
Shut that shit down.
I shut that shit right down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
We're going to shut shit down.
I
We're
said
going to stop
nay.
this podcast. We're going to
Yeah.
stop.
All right.
We will see you
Thank
guys
you,
next
everyone.
time.
Thanks for listening. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.